Hi, my name is Amanda Sunshine Williams, and I'm coming to give you your daily growth tip. Today's growth tip is about ambush. The ambush. What is an ambush? It's a surprise attack. Something that you don't know anything about, something that just happens, but it's a setup from your enemy. And so I hear so many saints lately talking about, that they're going through and this and that. But the ambush, we have to understand, why is Satan attacking? Why is he launching this ambush against the people? What is his purpose? What is he trying to do? See, we think that the ambush is against our things. We think it's against our finances. We think that it's against our loved ones. But those are just a distraction that he wants to use because it's the closest things to you. He wants you to think it's about that. But what it's really about is your soul, your salvation, your destiny. The enemy is launching these attacks so that he can kill your belief system. Everything is wound up in your belief system because you have to use faith to get everything that you want and need. You operate through faith. God operates through faith. So the enemy likes to launch these attacks in places that he knows that will severely hurt us. Why? Because we're going to wait. You'll begin to wave your white flag and surrender and give up. It's almost like a boxer. A boxer, one thing that I learned in kickboxing and one thing that I learned in martial arts is that when you're fighting your opponent, you want to keep bashing them in the same area to break them in. So that's kind of like the ambush in boxing. You just keep punching them and punching them and punching them in the same area until they break, until they go down. You don't want to go into no new areas. And see, the enemy only comes with old tricks because he knows what affects us. He knows what hurts us. So the purpose of the ambush is to attack against your belief system, against the things that God has told you, so that you can denounce God. I was thinking about Job when Job was going through his situation, and even the one that was the closest to him, his wife said, "Why don't you just denounce God and just die? Why don't you just curse him and just die?" And so that's what the enemy wants us to do. He wants us to curse God. He wants us to give up on the things that he told us. He wants us to denounce everything about God. He wants us to denounce our faith. He wants us to do all those things. So he got to work against our belief system. That's why it's so important that we do what Romans says to do, and that's to pull down every thought, every imagination that exalts itself above what God has taught us to believe. Because we got to remember, one thing Satan knows is that he cannot hurt us, that he can only do what God allows him to do. And I understand that from the book of Job, because in Job he asked God, he said, "God, you know I can't hurt Job because you got a hedge around him." And anytime we in God's presence, anytime that we're in his will, God has a hedge around us that the enemy can't get to. And anything that the enemy is doing is because God is allowing it. So why is God allowing it? What is he trying to do? Why would he allow the enemy to launch an attack on us? First of all, he had said, "I know he knew that Job was going to be faithful for one thing. Will you be faithful? Will you show that God will do what he said that he would do? Will you trust that? Will you show that through your walk, that you believe that he's going to do what he said that he's going to do in your life? So many times we want to praise him when everything is going good, but what about when things are going bad? How are you going to respond to that? Because if the enemy knows that he can't hurt you, why do you keep believing that every attack against you is going to take you out, is going to harm you? Because it's not. If the enemy knows this, why don't you know that? That the hedge around you is protecting you. It's just like Isaiah said, "No weapon formed against me shall prosper." The enemy is forming weapons that can't prosper against you. And so today, you got to make a decision to be consistent in your walk, to be consistent in your faith, to endure no matter what's going on around you, and understand that everything that you're going through is there to build your faith muscle. All these things is going to build your faith muscle. So every time you come up against something, every time you go through something, you're going to be like, "Okay, I know my God brought me out of there." I was thinking about the children of Israel. When they came up against the Red Sea, they began to say, "Moses, did you bring us this far to let us die? Are we going to die out here?" But they forgot to remember what God brought them from. So every time you go through something, you need to remember, hey, my God brought me through that, and he's not going to bring me this far to leave me nor forsake me. But so many times we allow Satan to play against our belief system. His attack, his ambush is against your belief system. Every time he attacks you, it's going to be in a place of destiny. It's going to be in a place where he knows can harm you. He already knows what to aim at you. Allow God protection around that thing. Stand strong, stand still. Because the ambush is not going to hurt you. The ambush is only going to make you. And that's your daily growth tip today about the ambush. Stand strong. It's not going to harm you. The hedge of protection is around you. Keep fighting. You're part of God's army. You're a soldier. Don't give up now.